Welcome to Future Ready by Think with Google. I'm Katie Couric. Nice to see you.
So good to see you too.
Lisa Joseph Metelus is the head of basketball marketing and servicing for CAA Sports. And if anyone understands brand partnerships, it's her. Lisa, hi.
Hi.
You have been at CAA for almost 13 years.
Yes.
And you've done some incredible things. Before we talk about your partnerships and your projects, how did you get there?
I just loved sports, and I loved, how it made me feel and the wins and the losses. And I never thought in a million years that I'd be doing what I was doing. But I was, given an opportunity in college to intern for our football program, and one thing just led into the other. And here I am almost 28 years later in the game.
You met Dwyane Wade when he was 22 years old. Can you talk about some of the things that you all have done together through the years and how you have leveraged Dwyane's popularity to create business opportunities for both of you?
Yeah. I think one of the things we did very early on in his career was trying to establish what the future would look like in the now. How do I leverage the moments that I'm in now to build relationships with key people, to build relationships with brands, to show my true authentic self, to speak my truth, when the lights dim, when the jersey's hung up, and, when you've entered into the Hall of Fame. That's what they'll remember.
What about those who are not big superstars or household names? Can they learn anything from the career and the partnership you have forged with Dwyane?
Back in the day, you had to rely on journalists and sports journalists to tell your story. Now through social media, you're able to create your brand and really tap into things that is authentic to you. And I think, it really is about authenticity, and people want to know who the real you is, not just someone that's sitting up and really promoting a brand, but like, what are you really like off the court?
What do the most successful partnerships, Lisa, have in common?
I think it's really important that, the brands and the talent really understand what their shared values are. A lot of times you have athletes that are bought deals, and they're great like one-time checks. And by the way, sometimes you have to do those, you want to do those. But for the most part, does that brand really align with your core values of who you are? Do you want to work long-term with this group of people? Do they share my values? Is this something that in 3 years I'm going to want to support? But also I think that understanding what your value is too. What are the added skill sets that I bring to this?
But saying no, I guess, is key too, because not every opportunity is going to be the right one to create the building blocks for the future, right?
You're so right. The no is just as important as the yes. And I think that's where you have a really good team of people around you that, you sit down and have conversations, because we've been in situations with many of our clients where we've had to say the hard no. Because yes, the check is really, the numbers, it's what's like really appealing, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to get up and show up for something. And is this something that you really wanna show up for? Does this align with who you are?
And is it gonna help you achieve the next thing?
Absolutely. How is that building to the brand that you're going into? Yes.
There is so much content out there. What advice would you give brands who want to do something that will really cut through?
I feel like every couple of months we wake up and there's a new social media app, a new way to talk to your audience, a new way to connect with people. And as we've added layers to that, it's harder and harder to speak on all platforms. It just comes down to human relationships, right? Where do you feel your most authentic self? What platform do you feel your most authentic self? But if you show up on that platform and it's not authentic and it's performative and it's just like consumers, fans, they see through that. And so it really is about finding your voice and who can help you.
How do you measure success? What metrics do you use?
While data is still very important in the work, sometimes it's just how, people are responding to a post. You're able to see that in real time, right? It's not just a number, it's an emotion. It's just not, 100,000 people like this post, but sometimes it might be the 50 people that connected with the post and resonated and responded to it.
There's so many social issues that people think need addressing. And in a way, Colin Kaepernick sort of set the agenda and said athletes can have positions. How has that changed the way you work with athletes or any of your clients in terms of speaking out?
I think, there's pros and cons to it as well. And I mean, even before Colin Kaepernick, you think about the days of Muhammad Ali, I think athletes have always used their voice, right? I think the biggest thing for us and what we try to do is educate our clients. Because I think a lot of times people look at talent and see, well, did you post in support? What's your stance? And I firmly believe that you don't post anything until you understand it.
What are some of the most interesting changes you're seeing in the brand partnership space?
I think storytelling is really important. I think from a client perspective, it's no longer showing up and giving the script, and this is the script, this is the campaign. I think, clients really are, and talent, athletes are now wanting to take control over that. I think, they're interested in the brand as well. How can you help me tell my story? So I think there's definitely been a shift in owning the campaigns and the work that comes with creating content.
So more collaborative?
More collaborative versus just, I'm just here to tell your story. It's no, how do we tell our story together?
Lisa Metelus, thank you so much. That was fascinating.
That was fun. Thank you for having me.
For more future-ready conversations, subscribe to the Think with Google YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.